Okay, it's been 1 minute. So let's get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to LinkedIn Basics. Just to highlight some points real quick, I am a public services librarian. Um, I am not a career expert. So while this is going to be general LinkedIn advice, if you wanted to further your career based on this, you might want to seek advice elsewhere. Each profile in LinkedIn will look different depending on your individual goals as a worker, as a person in the workplace. So our focus today is really going to be on professionalism. Today, we are going to go through an introduction to LinkedIn, showing you how to set up your profile for the very first time. We will talk about engaging with LinkedIn, how to search for jobs, and growing your online presence with LinkedIn. We will have time for questions at the end of the presentation, but if you think of anything during the presentation, please drop it in the chat. You should be able to see at the bottom of your screen either a chat icon or Q&A icon. We will be monitoring both of those, so please just drop your question in there. So, what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is the world's largest professional networking site. There are over 1 billion active monthly users. Um, about 240 million are from the United States, but the rest are going to be all over the world. With LinkedIn, you can create a profile that highlights your job history, your experience, and your expertise. While resumes do this as well, LinkedIn, you don't have to stick with a maximum page limit, and you're able to list more details about the experience that you have. So while you're trying to keep it to 2 pages, maybe even 1 page or less on your resume, LinkedIn, you can list all of your professional work history. You can also network and engage with other professionals in your field or in your company. Alternatively, if you're planning a career change, you can network with people in positions that you aspire to have, or with people in companies you aspire to work for, or even in locations that you want to move to. LinkedIn also offers job searching. There are many recruiters that specifically look at LinkedIn profiles, and there are some job listings that are exclusive to LinkedIn that you wouldn't find on other job search sites. Finally, LinkedIn can help you establish your professional brand and market yourself as a leader in your industry. There is a misconception sometimes that LinkedIn is only for job seekers, but it's really for anyone who wants to grow their influence and their career, even if they plan on sticking with the same job. I will say LinkedIn is also great for students as well, students looking to break into their first career. So, setting up your profile. This class assumes that you have not signed up for an account. Uh, so, um, sorry, this class assumes that you have already signed up for an account. And if you have not yet done so, LinkedIn's process is very intuitive. It requires an email or phone number, password, and full name. Looking at a complete profile can sometimes be overwhelming, but LinkedIn does a good job of breaking it down into small steps. That said, we are going to break it down even further. So this is an example profile, not mine, but we will see what we can do with these profiles. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the profile, the headshot picture. It's uh, a well-executed headshot can convey professionalism, confidence, and approachability, which can help you make connections and open doors to new opportunities. It is usually the first thing that people notice when they land on your LinkedIn page. So you will want to choose a picture that represents you the way that you want to be perceived. LinkedIn members with a profile picture receive many more views, messages, and interactions compared to profiles with no photo. Here are some tips for your profile, your headshot picture. You want a recent picture, one that represents you with your current haircut or facial hair or other visible change you may have gone through. It's not a good feeling when people can't recognize you from your profile picture, especially if you are networking online and then meet in person. You want people to recognize you. Your headshot picture should focus on the face, but don't get too zoomed in or out. You want to strike a balance between being zoomed in and zoomed out. Typically, shoulders and above is a good profile picture. Make sure that you have good lighting. Harsh shadows or dark photos can make you unrecognizable sometimes. While people advise most LinkedIn users to use a neutral background, this can vary depending on your profession. For an example, as a librarian, I might use a picture of myself with books in the background. Or a creative person in a creative field may take a picture next to a colorful mural. So, whatever your choice for the background, make sure that you keep it professional and make sure there's no bottles or trash in the background. To edit your profile picture, simply view your profile and select the circular picture on the banner at the top to upload a new picture. So, going back to here, if you just click on this photo, you would be able to edit your picture. So, the banner image of your profile is designed to be a space where you can show your personality, industry, or brand. You can think of it as an extension of your profile picture. It can be a picture that you took or something related to your industry. In this example, this is an image that our friend Carmen took, showcasing her love for photography, which is important as a creative director. To change your background image, you can click on the camera or pencil icon in the top right corner of the banner. So the first time that you're setting it up, it's going to be a little camera icon, but then when you're editing the next time, it's going to be a pencil icon. Next, we're going to talk about the headline. The headline is a spot where you can write who you are. To edit your headline, just under the banner, click on the upper right pencil icon in the profile section. For your headline, it's often tempting to just write the job title you have and the company you work at, such as librarian at Plano Public Library. And to be honest with you, this is what LinkedIn defaults to. However, this is also your opportunity to use keywords and explain what you bring to the table. It's a chance to tell people who you are and what you do beyond just your job title. This can be especially important for people transitioning between industries or careers. You want to use keywords for your aspirational job, not just your current one. So in this example, Carmen identifies that she is a creative director, but she also identifies that she is particularly passionate about web design. Um, this is my headline. I am a public librarian, sparking creativity, connection, and community. So I'd really like to just take a moment and ask y'all to think about what your headline could be. Um, whether you want to start it with your profession or if you want to say that you are passionate about something, whether you want to connect somehow to the community, um, connect to an industry somehow. This is where your headline really shines. So we're going to just take 5 or 10 seconds to think about it. Okay, I'm going to continue on, but I hope that that at least started brainstorming for you what your headline could be. The About section is a good summary of who you are. You want to use first person language, such as using I instead of referring to yourself in the third person. You want to describe a short summary of your skills, passions, and career goals. And the About section should be a paragraph or two long. You don't want it to be too long. For example, this is my About section. So I am a library worker living in the Dallas Metroplex, so I identify where I'm at. Um, this can also be a good way to say that you are seeking to move elsewhere. Um, and then just a few things about your current job. Um, and then you can also list things in your free time as well, if those relate to your career. Okay, this is all about the experience section, which is the most like a resume, as I listed before. Um, just like the other sections, you would scroll down to the experience section and click on the pencil icon to edit your jobs, or the plus icon to add more jobs. Whereas a resume is usually tailored to a specific job and showcases your experience in the prospective role, LinkedIn can be much more exhaustive because there is no page limit. You'll want to list current and prior jobs you held and add bullet points. These bullet points can describe duties, but they should also describe your accomplishments in the role. Make sure to use keywords relevant to the industry and remember that only the first two lines will show before the See More button. So make those your highest impact. As you can see here, we've got two bullet points and then a See More link. You want to make sure that these two bullet points are high impact. Okay, let's talk about the skills and endorsement section of your profile. As with the other sections, you can scroll down to the skills section of your profile and select the pencil icon to edit your skills. This is where you highlight what you're good at and what you want to be recognized for. Although LinkedIn allows you to list up to 50 skills, only your top three uh, are the ones that people see right away. So they should be your most important skills. You want to think strategically. Choose skills that reflect your current role or the role that you're aiming for. For example, if you're in marketing, you might pick skills like social media strategy, content creation, and analytics. Endorsements are when your connections confirm you actually have those skills. So while endorsements don't carry as much weight as recommendations, they do boost your credibility and help with LinkedIn's search rankings. My advice is to keep your list clean and focused. Add your top skills, arrange them in the order that matters most to your goals, and remove anything outdated. Then, every so often, you can endorse your colleagues. It's a good way to strengthen relationships, and often they'll return the favor. So, in short, use this section to show what you want to be known for and keep it aligned with where you're headed professionally. LinkedIn creates a default URL for your profile, but this is usually a bit of a string of gibberish. So, to make your profile easier to share on resumes and email signatures, you can create a custom URL of your own choosing. On the web page, on your profile, you can simply click the pencil icon next to the public profile and URL, and you'll be able to edit your LinkedIn URL. I would recommend doing something with your name, um, or you can also say your name, uh, and then maybe like PhD or any kind of degrees that you have after your name. You can have maybe your location if you're not planning on moving. So maybe Carmen Morales, DFW, stuff like that if your name is already taken. As we mentioned before, LinkedIn is a great way to network and make connections you otherwise wouldn't have. You can do this by adding friends, posting and commenting, and sharing work-related news. You can also join groups and communities for fields, industries, or other common interests. So let's get to it. When you're creating connections, remember that it's quality over quantity, but don't be afraid to connect broadly in your field either. To add a connection, you can search for a specific person in the search bar at the top of the Home or My Network page and simply click the connect button on their profile. You can also follow if you'd like to stay up to date with the person's posts and don't know the person very well. So to follow, you would click the More button and then click on Follow. Mm, you can definitely follow people with a large following, such as authors, influencers, or other high-profile people. When you add a connection, make sure to follow networking etiquette by adding a personalized message. You want to keep it professional but personable. You can say things like, "Hello, I am interested in your field, um, and interested in the insights you have on various topics. I'd love to connect to keep updated on your posts." Something like that. Uh, just something that really highlights how you know the person, if you know them, and uh, why you want to connect. And that can be as simple as I want to keep updated on your posts. When it comes to engaging with LinkedIn, you can think of it as a conversation rather than a bulletin board. For posting, you don't want to write a long article. Just share something meaningful. That could be an interesting article from your field, a career update like finishing a certification, or even a short lesson you've learned on the job. To post, simply click on the speech bubble to start a post at the top of your homepage and start writing. So there we go. That's start a post. Sharing is when you repost content to your network. Instead of hitting share, you can also add a quick note about why it matters or what stood out to you about the post. That little bit of context makes your post more engaging. So, although there is that repost button, we usually add a little bit more context on LinkedIn rather than just click the repost button and post it. Finally, there is commenting. Um, it's a good idea not to just write congrats or great post. You can take an extra moment to add insight, a takeaway, or even a thoughtful question. This shows your voice and builds stronger connections. So instead of great post, you can quote a line from their post and say, "This was very meaningful to me. This was very insightful." Um, Also, there are reactions, which are a quick way to show appreciation for a post. There's the like button, of course, but there's also the celebrate, support, love, insightful, and funny reactions. So, the key to engaging with LinkedIn is to post with purpose, share with context, and comment with insight. Another great way to engage on LinkedIn is through groups and communities. Groups are like professional discussion boards around specific industries or interests. They are a place to ask questions, share resources, and connect with people who may not be in your immediate network. Here's how to find them. Go to the search bar at the top of LinkedIn and type in a keyword related to your field, such as graphic design or project management. Then you can filter the results by choosing Groups. You'll see a list of groups that you can request to join, and once you're in, don't just sit quietly. You can introduce yourself, respond to posts, or share an article that group members would find useful. Even one thoughtful comment can start a connection with someone new. And especially for those of you breaking into new fields, groups are a fantastic way to connect with others in that field. The key is to treat groups as a professional community space, helpful, supportive, and relevant to your field. If you give value, people will remember you and may even reach out to connect one on one. Job alerts make it easier to hear about opportunities before everyone else. So here's how to set them up. Go to the Jobs tab at the top of LinkedIn. Type in the role, skill, or company you're interested in and add filters like location, date posted, and so on. Once the search results show up, you can click Get Job Alerts on the bottom left. Once you click the job alerts, you can choose whether to get notified by email, in LinkedIn, or both. The benefit is that you don't have to constantly search because LinkedIn brings those opportunities to you. For job searching, LinkedIn gives you a way to privately or publicly share that you're job hunting. And here's how. If you go to your profile and click the Open To button on your headline, a pop-up window shows up that allows you to select different options, such as finding a new job or finding volunteer opportunities. You can add the job titles, locations, and job types that you're interested in. And then you can also choose your visibility. You can either just share with recruiters that you are open to work, or you can make it public with the green open to work banner. And that's a little green thing that shows up on your profile picture. And these open to work settings are a powerful signal because recruiters use these filters when searching for candidates. So when you're job searching, you'll often see this easy apply button, which lets you submit your profile and resume in just a few clicks. To use it, you would find a job listing and click easy apply. You would follow the prompts, usually uploading your resume and, if requested, a cover letter, and then review your information and click submit. It is very convenient, but keep in mind, your application may not stand out if you don't also customize your resume or cover letter for that job. I recommend using Easy Apply for roles that you are interested in, but taking time, extra time, on the ones that you really want. Another way to use LinkedIn for job searching is by following companies. And here's how. In the search bar, you would type the name of the company you're interested in, go to their company page, and click the follow button. From then on, you'll see their updates and job postings in your feed. This not only keeps you informed, but also shows recruiters and hiring managers that you're genuinely interested in their organization. Plus, it gives you fresh talking points when you're preparing for an interview. Although there is more to job searching on LinkedIn, we are going to go ahead and move on because there is a separate LinkedIn class on job searching coming up in 4 weeks, I believe. So, when it comes to growing your presence on LinkedIn, consistency matters more than volume. You'll want to log in once or twice a week. You can like, comment, and share posts from your network. And you can also post original content, such as a reflection, a lesson, or a question. Additional resources. I'm going to hide that real quick and talk about our Plano Library website. So if you go to planolibrary.org, you'll be redirected to this plano.gov webpage. And from there, you can ask PPL questions. If you have any specific questions on a job and career, such as setting up your LinkedIn profile, you would be able to click Job and Career and fill out this form to set up an appointment or get somebody to email you an answer. Another thing that you can do on our library webpage is look for LinkedIn learning tutorials. So if you go to Discover and Explore, you'll see that we have Research and Learn. And by clicking Research and Learn, you'll come to this alphabetical list of all databases. LinkedIn Learning is a great video database with lots of video tutorials that are put on by LinkedIn. So you would want to get started, type in your library card number and your PIN. Oh, forgot a number there. And then once you're in your LinkedIn Learning account, you can search for anything that you can think of. So for example, I'm going to search for LinkedIn. And from there, I can filter by course, learning path, video, and I'm going to select course. Um, and there are lots of different courses that show up, such as Rock Your LinkedIn Profile. So if you're interested in learning more about your profile, you would be able to click on this video course. And from here, you have a table of contents on the left. So if you wanted to find out more about adding a photo to stand out, you would be able to just watch that video by itself instead of watching the entire course. That said, I do recommend watching the courses because they are full of really valuable information. Finally, on our webpage, planolibrary.org, we also have our social media. So this shows you the social media channels for all of Plano, including the Plano Public Library's YouTube page. On our YouTube page, you can find program recordings such as LinkedIn. So here you can see that we're doing basics currently live, but we also have other classes on LinkedIn and LinkedIn Learning. So you would be able to click on this playlist and see more tips and tricks. That said, we are going to get back to our presentation. And are there any questions at this time?
We don't have any questions right now. Thank you, Anna.
Okay. In that case, since we don't have any further questions, we are going to end our program. Thank you so much for attending our virtual program. You can find more resources at planolibrary.org, and you can find more calendar events on our online calendar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anna. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Maricel.
That was always very interesting information. Okay,
Yes, thank
so
you.
we had a total of 3 people who got into the um, uh, the webinar, and I will put it in the Monday.com if you want me to. Okay.